So it is officially fall, which means it's officially spooky season. It's almost my birthday. Yes, I am a Libra. I mean, but like also Virgo rising, Virgo moon. Anyway, and the whole thing with how I felt lately post, like we're like what, like 2 weeks out from the Botox. I'm not gonna like get into the depth of it. One, my eyes are completely different. I learned that your forehead wrinkles, the skin has to go somewhere when it's frozen and it settles, and I have um, like a more hooded eye than I ever have. That's been weird because I can feel the weight of it. But mostly I just feel a little better consistently across the board, except for I got into a car once so far, and that sucked. I felt really sick when I got out of the car. Like I wanted, like I went to the grocery store. I wanted to go home like immediately. I was like, no, 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 this is terrible. Please, I just want to be home. Which isn't unlike me, but that's like bad day me. But also, usually when I go to the grocery store, it's on a day where I have like just woken up, eat breakfast, take my pills, and then I go to the store. There was like a big gap between when I took my meclizine in the morning and went to the store. So maybe there's difference there, but I honestly don't think so. I think that what the Botox really does is it just puts like this thin barrier between me and how I feel. And what it can't do is do anything with that car sickness. But I have been testing like with TV because it's spooky season. So I've been trying to like watch some movies, classic, newer horror that I haven't seen either in a really long time, and turns out not the whole thing, which is Hellraiser, and some things that I've missed in the past couple of years that I wanted to check out because they sounded interesting to me. And so I've been doing that instead of reading as much as usual. And I've been really enjoying that. But it means that I have been doing more like just not reading for me anyway. And the reading that I've been doing has been a little slower. For instance, I only read one book in the past like week. And it was an older book that I took out because there was it was like National Read an Ebook Day or something like that. And then every time you took books out at the library, it donated to charity. So I ended up taking out 3 books, which was the first 2 Heartstoppers, which are the same as the first season on Netflix, and One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. So Heartstopper, same as the show, almost exactly. So I knew I was gonna like it. I've read Alice Oseman before. I got into her through Rainbow Books. I think her first book that she had published in the U.S. was my year on Rainbow. My second year on Rainbow. I think it was my second year on Rainbow, maybe. And yeah, I think so, because her second book didn't, or the next book that came out after that didn't get picked up here. And I was trying to get it for the list and then found out it didn't meet criteria because it didn't have a publisher here, which was like their mistake, but whatever. I ended up getting it for myself by doing interlibrary loan from Oregon because somebody was smart enough to buy a copy from England. Great book. And now it's a bestseller here. All of them are. So I had a really good time with that. One Last Stop. I read I Kissed Shara Wheeler. And so I knew that Casey McQuiston is not light, fluffy romance, even though all the covers make it look like that. So I knew going in that the book wasn't going to just be like this really, really quick read. In fact, I know that at like 50%, I said to my roommate, where the heck is this gonna go for 50% more? But since I didn't have that expectation, I think that was a good thing, and it meant that I could enjoy the book for what it was. Because I was talking to a friend of mine who was like, I don't understand why I didn't like that book. And I'm like, well, did you think it was going to be like a straight up like light romance? Because the cover makes it look like a straight up light romance. That's not really what Casey McQuiston has written in my experience over the 2 whole books that I've read. There's a lot more there than just a very like light formulaic YA-ish romance, because also it's not a YA book. So I enjoyed that too. And the only other like new book that I was supposed to do a while back, but then I hadn't read anything else new, was Anne of Greenville, which I was like, this is going to be interesting. And it is. It's really interesting. But I can't help but ask, who is this book for? Because it's not for Anne of Green Gables fans. It's too transformed. And if it's for the kids who need it, why is it an Anne of Green Gables transformation book? Like, it makes no sense to me. Because Anne is a modern kid and an adoptee with 2 moms who moves into this small town, and people are horrible to her. Just absolutely horrible. Like, there are more racist terms in this book than anything I've read in a long time. And that was a tough read. So maybe it's more Anne with an E. I've heard that kind of delves more into like adoptee trauma, but like that's not even what this book was. This was more straight up like racism. This is not to say that the book wasn't good. It was very good, and I really liked a lot of the characters, and they did kind of feel the same, just updated, but the plot itself didn't feel like Anne of Green Gables at all. So do I recommend the book? Yes. Do I understand it? No, I don't. But that's okay. I really almost put the book down halfway through because I knew that this book really wasn't for me. But that didn't mean that I didn't want to read it and finish it. I needed the happy ending because I was really by the halfway point. It was a lot of bad words to read and hurtful words to read, to not get all the way through and to see how it ended. Also, I'm like, I'm too old to read about kids whose parents should know better and get them the hell out of there. Like, if my kid were getting treated like that at school, I'd homeschool. I absolutely would. That is horrible. It's horrible. I would never put my kid through that. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. It's like, you can watch me be allergic in real time. My roommate has 2 cats, and one is always out here, and the other used to always be in her room, but now she has like developed this thing where she sits near me, and if I look at her wrong, she tries to hit me, but sitting near me means she loves me. But I am allergic to her because in the past couple years she's lived here, I never had a chance to build up any resistance to being allergic to her specifically, like I am allergic to all cats, the way I've built up resistance to the other cats. Great. Sorry. Also, I shouldn't be right next to the blanket she's been sitting on for days. Otherwise, I've been reading Leech, which is really cool. It's very Victorian inspired, but it's set in like the far future. It's so neat, but I don't want to tell you anything because there's so much going on and so much to reveal. It's creepy. It's there are things that are like, oh, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, this is that, but it's like that thing where like you may know what's going on, but like the questions are like which characters know what going on, or know what's going on and when. It's a murder mystery where someone is sort of solving their own murder, but kind of not really, and we kind of know what the killer is, but is also there a who. And like I said, there's a lot going on with this book, and it's perfect for spooky season. And it just came out this week, which cool. And if you really love like the old, Victorian writers, then I think that you're really going to be into this one. If you like your books a little weird, it's pretty graphic, but if you were gonna read horror anyway, I feel like you sort of know what you're getting into. Yeah, so that's all I've been reading lately. I've got a couple books coming up. The First to Die at the End, and I think I got something else in the next week or two. The Spare Man, which is the thin man in space. And my roommate's home, so I'm gonna go talk to her. Bye!